You can see my screen. Can everybody see that? Yep, thumbs up. Beautiful. So, guys, this is what we're going to cover today. This is what you're going to learn today. You're going to learn the right questions to ask yourself so you actually understand where you need to focus in 2022. All right, really, really important. The best minds in the business ask themselves the best questions, and I'm going to give you 6. So I really want you to get a pen and paper ready, turn off that phone, turn off your email, and dial in. Secondly, I want Jerome's actually going to go through how to align your identity with your goals, because if we don't do that, we will not be successful in our endeavors. Then I'm going to give you, Jerome's going to give you a simple framework to triple the likelihood of you actually achieving your goals in 2022. I'm going to give you 7 simple strategies that help you get unstuck. And then I'm going to go through a framework, a 4-step framework, so you can grow your business whilst having more time off than ever. If that sounds good, just put yes in the chat. If you'd like to grow your business in 2022 whilst enjoying more freedom than you've ever had, just give us a yes in the chat. And that's essentially what we're going to cover today. So we've got it jam-packed, and I've got a bonus couple of frameworks to give you as well. So it's well worth hanging around. It's well worth staying all the way to the end, because I guarantee there's going to be some absolute knowledge bombs, and there's going to be some really good insights. And I've got some bonus material for you all as well. So one of the real keys is, before you plan, you can't start planning for the next year unless you actually do some really, really important introspection. You can't start setting goals unless you understand where you're at right now and what you need to accomplish and achieve. And so this is why you need to ask yourself 6 really important questions before you even begin the process of planning. And we're going to work through that collectively together today. The smartest people in the world just ask better questions. All right. And so I'm going to give you 6 questions today so you can identify what your priorities are in 2022. All right. So here we have it. The first one is, what isn't happening right now? All right. And specifically in your business, but this also may apply to your personal life as well. What isn't happening that if it did, it would cause the perceived problems to either narrow or disappear? Okay, so I want you to really have a look at 2021. What isn't happening, maybe as well as it should, maybe not happening at all, that would enable you or your problems to just disappear. It would enable you to expedite your progress and your growth. I really want you to think about this, because this is where we need to, again, when we actually do the goal setting component, this will help give it shape. This will give it purpose. This will ensure that we've got the ladder up against the right wall and that we're actually focusing in the key components. So what isn't happening right now? And it can be personal, it can be professional. That would cause the bottlenecks, the challenges, the obstacles, the problems to either narrow or disappear. I want you to put it in the chat. I really want you to think about it. I want you to walk away with these questions. I want you to spend a lot of time with these questions after this presentation, but I want you to immediately do the deep work. All right. I want you to immediately do the introspective work and start to identify what the needs are. Don't be shy. Drop it in the chat. What isn't happening right now? All right. I want to see. Thank you. Who is that who dropped in first? All right, Tash, you're an absolute legend. Well done. So staff training, great. Really important. Really important that you've identified that. So that can be a priority when we set these goals. Bex, systems, keeping focus on point. Great. I want you guys to really think about what isn't happening in your business. Taking action in general, daily plan, onboarding, organic marketing consistently, systems, clarity of products, great. Too much procrastination, awesome, guys. Now they're coming in thick and fast, Jerome. We're starting to really identify what our priorities need to be. Love that. So there's some real themes here as well. There's some themes around focus. There's some themes around systemization. There's some themes around team building, which is fantastic. Love that. Second question. What is the major obstacle right now? What is the major obstacle that you must overcome in 2022? What is the main bottleneck? If everything stayed the same, yet you solved one major obstacle, what would that be? What's the major obstacle that is getting in the way between you and reaching your potential? You and your business realizing the vision that you have for it. Time management, indecision, me. Yeah, great. I love that, Stuart. Thank you for sharing that. Self-sabotage, self-belief. Oh, I'm glad I brought Jerome along today. All right. He's absolute master in these things. Me, inconsistency. Love that. Awesome. Because now we can actually start to get some shape, trying to do everything myself and not delegating. Thank you, Daniel. The deep work, time management. There's a lot of themes here, Jerome.
Absolutely, legend.
Procrastination. All right, next one. What skills do you need to get better at? What do you need to improve? What do you need to attain in 2022? All right, really narrow it down. What are the key skills that need to be either improved, developed, refined? Because right now, they may not be where they need to be. Are they your leadership skills? Are they your Facebook ad skills? Are they your communication skills? Are they your time management skills? What are the key skills that really need emphasis, that really need focus, that really need priority? Talking on camera, leadership and time management, communication, financial management, organization, expense budgeting, leadership and business management. Awesome. If you want to get better answers, ask yourself better questions. And that's why I'm asking you these questions. We're not going to dive into planning until we identify the priorities. Focus. All the above, Natasha says. And I think you guys should be excited about this. You should be excited about the opportunities that you're uncovering that we can focus on in 2022. All right, next question, number 4. Having a look, what is our competition really good at? Like, what are they excelling at right now? And why are my customers buying from them and not me? What are they doing really well? What's really attractive about them? All right, ask yourself that. The better you can understand your customer, the better you can understand their behavior, then the more impactful your marketing is going to be, the more impactful your content is going to be, the more impactful your communication is going to be. All right, it's okay to acknowledge that your competition may be doing some things better than you. Paul, great to see you on, mate. They're consistent. Love that, mate. They're just more consistent. They have a crash. They're consistent. Love that. Success leaves clues. What are they doing? Phil, connection. Amy, marketing. Thank you. They're putting themselves out there. Love that, Stuart. Competition, easy to get started. They're onboarding. Good. Next one. This is a really good question to ask yourself. Why aren't my sales 2 times what they are today? Why isn't my business double the size? Why aren't I bringing in 2 times as many new clients every single week, every single month? Again, this could be a roadblock. This could be a barrier. This could be another obstacle that we need to identify and then overcome. Robbie, you need to build a team. Great. More leads for you, Rusty. We're going to solve that. Will, you just wearing too many hats. Keep thinking that I need more things in place. Yeah. Sarah, marketing not on point. Stewie, just inconsistent. Not good at making phone calls. Don't understand Facebook ads. Inconsistent with marketing. Marketing. Onboard successfully. Follow up. More leads, Kieran. Inconsistent marketing. Need more staff to grow. Good. All right. And last question. Last question from me. Who do you need in your corner in 2022? All right. Who do you need to support you? Who do you need to uplift you? Who do you need on your team? Who do you need in your environment? Who do you need in your corner that you can turn to so you can grow? Rusty, Tracy, Sarah, they've all got me. And they've got the wonderful Jen Collins. Awesome. Identify who do you need to bring in. It's really important. The inner circle crew. Great, Kieran. You're not on your own with this. There are a lot of people that can help you. Yeah, the elite alliance crew. You need family engagement. Great. I think that's Mark. Nice to see you on. So guys, I've asked you 6 questions. I know we've gone through them very, very quickly. I want you to really, really spend some more time on these 6 questions. Beyond today, there's a lot that Jerome and I want to cover. Like, we want to over deliver today. And so we can't do everything, but I want you to take away these 6 questions. I want you to spend some time with them. I want you to take a notepad and a pen. I want you to step out in nature. And I really want you to just get as much down as you possibly can, because it's these questions that will uncover the path for a more successful 2022. It's where, I've said it many times, time and energy is finite. We need to make sure that we're putting it in the right places. And I've got to thank Keith Cunningham for these questions. A lot of them are from his book, The Road Less Stupid. If you want more great questions, then that is a fantastic book to help you do so. All right, I'm going to hand over to Jerome. Jerome's going to talk about aligning your identity with your goals, because we may have these ambitions. We may want to achieve these great outcomes. But again, like many of us have realized, unless we do the deep inner work, unless we get out of our own way, unless we remove the invisible ceiling, then they're not going to be actualized. So I'm going to hand over to Jerome on how do we actually align our identity? How do we ascend our identity so those outcomes can be accomplished and they can be achieved very, very successfully? So, mate, I'm going to hand over to you.
Thanks, Dan. Afternoon, guys. I'm really looking forward to this journey with you. And Dan, I don't know about you, mate, but those questions were fantastic. And I suppose, Dan, those questions apply to any level of business, do they? Yeah.
Absolutely, they do. Absolutely. And they're questions that you don't ask yourself at the end of the year. They're questions that you ask yourself constantly.
Yeah. So the thing is, guys, it's always to remember where we are and not compare ourselves. So I've worked with a lot of high performers and people that are very ambitious. And the one thing I always try and get across is you must never compare yourself to anyone else. And this sounds weird, but you must never compete. What you must aim for is flow state. You must get into the zone where you perform at your best all the time. And this is a challenge for business. It's easier when you're working with elite athletes because the goal's the goal. It's very obvious, the goal. But in business, the goal can be a bit grey and a bit beige. And this is what I've transferred over from working with elite athletes to working with, highly ambitious business owners. And let me give you an example. I was working with a dad. My niche seems to be men who are just about to become dads or dads. They're starting in their journey of becoming a dad. And I was talking with a dad, coaching him recently. And the question came up. He broke down in the session, broke down in floods of tears. And I knew that was a good sign because it opened up and become vulnerable. And so he opened up and what transpired, he built a great business. He was great at earning money. And I said, tell me a bit more. And he goes, well, I haven't really got the relationship I've got with my kids that I wanted to have, I'm a very successful businessman. Now we know the ultimate failure is success without fulfillment. Okay. It's the greatest disaster in the world. So he broke down and I said, what he goes, I know for the last 3 or 4 years, all I've done is bought my kids love. If they wanted something, I paid for it. I'm good at earning money, but I'm not really good at the relationship side with my kids. And then I said, okay, then. So I said, how did you build a business that didn't factor in having time with your children? Because, well, I just didn't really think about it. I just thought I'd go out and make money and, having the material trappings would be heaven, would be utopia. So why am I saying this? Is because unless you know your outcomes, you can get caught up in building a monster. And what is that outcome? For him was to take if he could go back in hindsight, he'd go, I'd love to have taken my kids to school. I'd love to have been there for some of their plays. I'd love to have been there and picked them up from school. I'd love to go to some of their evenings where, they were getting their assessments from their teacher. I was absent for a lot of that. So unless we're clear on our outcomes, we don't know what to do. We don't know the process. Yeah. So he wanted to be a great father. But to be a great father, he had to become a great business leader. Now, when he started building the business, he had a technician's mindset. He didn't have a business leadership mindset. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. I'm a personal trainer. I'll go out and get clients and train them. That's great, but that's not being a business leader. When I go through the 4 Ps later on, I'll tell you how, as a sports psychologist and a mindset performance, we go about achieving our goals. Let me ask you a question. Just put it in the chat. What do you think the number one thing that causes business failure? Just come up with some ideas. Dan, you might be able to read them out to me, buddy, or read them out loud.
Absolutely. So here we are, burnout, giving up, burnout, cash flow, self-sabotage, burnout, cash flow, planning, lack of planning, burnout and poor planning, exhaustion, the biz owner, not living in the present moment, unclear business plan, lack of income, poor business management.
Yeah, great answers, guys. You're spot on. And remember, Dan and I, as we go through this journey, there is no wrong. This is all about growth and evolving and being more aware, and hopefully getting some tools at the end of it so you can move to the next level. What causes the number one thing in my work over the last 10 years working with elite performers is that the thing is a lack of self-management skills. If we don't know how to manage ourselves, it's very, very challenging to manage something outside of ourselves. And that could be your partner, your kids, your business, your hobbies. It's about the inner game. And to know the inner game, we want to know what our personal vision is. What are our self-sabotaging patterns? What are our personal goals that we want to achieve? And I'll talk about that when we talk about the 4P. So as we went through this process with the dad, he got clear on his how, what he needed to do. So we have what the outcome I want, what I want to have. I want to have more time with my children and I want to build that relationship. Jerome, can you give me the tools to understand my masculine and feminine energy so I can build a better relationship with my children? Okay, because that's where true work-life balance is balancing your masculine and feminine energy as an elite athlete or as an elite performer, as an elite business leader. So if we don't know understand the balance of energies, we won't know how to perform really well. Because a lot of you have put time management in there, but managing your time is actually not the thing to do. It's about managing your energy. So elite performers know how to manage their energy, not their time. Now, we all have a different circadian rhythm. And the most important thing is to get to the top of the mountain with improved well-being. Now, that means you must run your race and no one else's race. If you've got two marathon runners and they're competing against each other, they'll come out of their own pace because they're letting external environments affect their performance. So if you're training to run a marathon, you must run your pace because you will not complete the journey. Along that journey, many times you'll be a winner and then many times you'll be a loser. But completing is what it's all about, because you learn more about yourself completing the journey than you ever do winning. Because sometimes winning can be decided by a referee's decision at the end of the game. It doesn't necessarily take away from your performance. Where you learn to grow and evolve like the oak tree and soar like the eagle is because you're willing to complete the journey and you've got the mental courage and toughness to actually do it on your terms. You master the art of pacing your circadian rhythm. And you know, it's all right for Jerome to shout all this stuff up, but it's an art and a skill, you know, and the courage to be you. The courage, I'm reading this book at the moment called The Courage to Be Disliked. Along that journey, you're going to upset a lot of people. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to actually inspire a lot of people. You cannot inspire people if you're not willing to be disliked. What most people do is they sit on the fence. You've got to jump off the fence and you've got to have an opinion of something and believe in something and actually go out and I want to make a difference in the world. The fitness industry is the greatest place to do that. Now, from there comes your identity. Once you're clear on your outcome, once you know what to do, what you need to do, the question you ask yourself is, who do I need to become? To complete this journey, to finish the marathon, to climb the mountain. So I reach the top and I reach the top with amazing well-being. Who do I need to become? And that's the question you got to ask yourself. And that's the question we dive deep as a mindset performance trainer. That's the most important thing here, guys. So really think about that. What is my outcomes? What do I need to do to achieve those outcomes? And ultimately, who do I need to become? This will create your culture, your personal culture. This will create your behaviors, and this will create the label you need to carry. And it's like a big jacket. You always wear an oversized jacket because you've got something to grow into. This is a metaphor, not real physical thing. Okay, you always want to have a psychological jacket that's bigger than you. It's really important. We're here to evolve. The moment you think about winning, you've lost. The moment you think about losing, you've lost. You must think of, who do I need to be in this moment to be the best version of myself? And this is ultimately what you're getting an elite athlete to do, to play the game in flow state. Not to tense up, to be relaxed and to perform at his best. This is what you must do at a business. If you're writing a blog, who do I need to be right now in flow state? If you're doing a video for social media, who do I need to be right now in flow state? All that matters is that video, nothing else. Who do I need to be right now on this presentation? If I'm off thinking about the shopping, or if I'm off thinking something's happened over there, I'm not present in the moment and I'm not in flow state. Okay, guys, we've got a lot to do here. So, you know, this is actually a one-day workshop. Me and Dan could run this as a one-day workshop because there might be a lot of outcomes you want in a lot of different areas. And then we'll have to talk about the how and the do, because that helps you relax and feel lighter. And then the deep conversation is, who do I need to become? And we have to get the needle in the haystack. We have to discover it and what's holding you back to become that person. Because the ultimate thing is, people are scared of what other people think of them. And that's what holds a lot of people back. The amount of times I have to coach people to just do videos on social media because they're worried about being critiqued. This is stopping you growing your business. If your identity has to become, I need to become a great video presenter, that's the identity you need over the next 90 days to grow your business. Put on that jacket, try it on. It's going to be too big for you for a while, but then you'll grow into it. And then when you look back at the first video, we can all get together and laugh at it because it will be so bad. But 90 days later, guess what? You're so much better. Be happy being an apprentice at anything. Have fun being an apprentice. Everyone tries to jump in at the leadership level. There's 4 stages to growth: apprenticeship, technician, manager, and leader. Most of us will be apprentices in a lot of areas. We might be leaders in 1 or 2, but maybe to do videos we'll be an apprentice. Be happy being an apprentice. Don't worry what people think about you, because while they're laughing at you, they're not growing. You be in the moment and go, with the tools I've got now, with the awareness I've got now, how can I produce the best video? It doesn't matter about what happens there and then. It's the practice that matters, the practice of flow state. And the more you can forget about the outside world and be you, jump off the fence and stand up for something, whatever it is in your fitness, the more you'll get into flow state, because the more you will not ignore other people and what they've got to say. Everyone will have an opinion on you, good, bad, and indifferent. The only opinion that matters is your opinion of yourself. Yeah, we come from kindness, we come from love, we come from compassion. Of course we do. However, we cannot go out there and try and make everyone happy. It doesn't work. And this is what stops people getting into flow state. It's the ultimate courage, getting into flow state, to be able to block everything out and being the best version of yourself in that moment. And we're going to talk about how we get into flow state and the difference between reactionary behavior and flow state behavior. Has that helped, Dan?
Mate, I think you've absolutely blown the socks off a number of the attendees, including me. Why don't we ask the audience, guys, what has been the biggest insight that you've had so far? Is this helpful? So, is this helpful? How about Wills? How about this for a wrap, mate? The best speech I've heard in my entire week from a great and inspirational man. Look at that.
Thanks, William.
Mate, that is absolutely superb. Is this helpful, guys? And what has been the most insightful element that you've heard from anything we've covered this morning? So the only opinion that matters is the opinion you have of yourself. I love that. I agree, Rob. I think we give too much credence, too much weight to everybody else. Manage your energy, not your time. Mate, you've dropped a number of good insights already. Be the Jedi, put on the oversized apprentice jacket. You'll grow into it. Love it. Be present and in your flow state. Do the best job with the knowledge and ability that you have at the moment. Allow yourself to make mistakes and learn from it. Yes, I love that. That epitomizes the growth mindset. Journey is in your hand. Results can be focus on the journey. Awesome. There's a lot. There's lots, mate. We'll be here all day if I just keep reading all the insights because there's been that many. So let's keep moving because, as I said, we're squeezing the lemon dry today. We're leaving nothing on the table. We're giving you everything that we have. So next, our 4P formula. So this is a formula that Jerome has used in the professional sporting world. He's used it with some of the best athletes in the world, and now he uses it with business owners. And it's a real privilege to be able to learn and have this shared by Jerome because I hadn't seen it before. And when he showed me it last week, when we were putting this presentation together, I was completely and utterly blown away. So make sure you got a pen, make sure you got a paper, because we're going to go deep now on the actual process of setting the outcomes. So, mate, I'm going to get you. I'm going to hand over to you, and you can take them through this incredible model.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dan. The thing I want you to remember from a human performance perspective, everything, the question you should always ask yourself is, does this improve my well-being? It could be a relationship. It could be your exercise routine. It could be your business. It could be the question you always ask yourself, does this improve my well-being or does it harm my well-being? And this is the question. A business has one job and one job only, and that is to improve your well-being. And if it's not doing that, what I've discovered over the years is that person's running a fear pattern. Okay. And so we have to take the anchors off our ankles to really get into flow state, feel light, and go, look, I'm doing this because I love this work. I'm doing this because it allows me to live with purpose. It allows me to contribute to society. It allows me to, feel part of the community, to make friends, relationships, and share my values with people that share my values as well. We've got to get to the human performance side of it, because that's when the best of us comes out. We want to attract people that want to hear our message, and we want to dispel people that don't want to hear it. Never talk to anyone who doesn't want to listen to you. I learned this from Jordan Peterson, psychologist. Never talk to anyone who doesn't want to listen to you. Only talk to the people who come to you. So stop chasing people. People that hear you, get out and present on your message, and people want to listen to it. Talk to those people. Get out of the way of the ego and get into your authentic self and go, I'm just going to serve these people because they've asked for my help. I guarantee your business will grow. Okay, so we want to dive into the 4P formula. So how do we, just a quick question, guys. Where do you think the game of business is lost or won? Quick question. Just a couple of you answer. First in, first served.
So Josh Busher said in the mind. Tasha said in your head. Nikki has said people skills. Stuart has said in your head. Tracy said customer care. Renal in your head. Naz in your mindset. 6 inches above the neck. Initial interaction. Lack of vision. Purpose.
I love it. They're all great answers. And remember, they're all right as well. Dan and I are not here to, we're here to open up a conversation and get you moving for 2022. They're all right questions. Now, from my experience and working with elite athletes, the game of business is lost or won in the process goals. Okay? In your daily routines, habits, and strategies. It's the micro stuff where the game is lost, the business game is lost or won. Now, great, Jerome. Great for that information. How the fuck do we get to the process goals? Well, let's look at this now. The thing about taking an elite athlete or something to the Olympics or world championships or whatever their goal is understanding. Let's look at this from a business point of view. When you're working with an ambitious person, the first thing you always ask them is, what does your ideal average day look like? When you're living your ideal average day, what does that look like? And some of them don't know what that is. They can't language it because they're not living mindfully. They're just living through the motions of the day. They've got an employee mindset, not an entrepreneurial mindset. And they're very different mindsets. So if I ask that question to an entrepreneur usually knows his best average day. Yeah, his ideal average day. So, and then the next question you ask that person is, what do you want to achieve personally? Now, let me give you an example of me. I compete in master athletics and I want to compete in New South Wales states, state championships. I want to travel the world and compete internationally in 100 and 200 meters at masters. So I know what my personal lifestyle will look like. It's not until you answer those questions, then you know what the business model is that you have to create. And I do this with dads. What does it look like when you're being a great dad? What is your ideal average day with your family? And then they'll tell me. And then I go, okay, and then what do you want to achieve personally? And they'll go, well, you know what? I'd like to sail around the Greek islands or whatever there. I'd like to do something that's out of the ordinary. Great. I'd like to climb Mount Everest. That's a lot of training to get to base camp alone. And I'd like to do that. Great. These are great answers. This is something you'd like to do personally in your life to discover yourself. Great. Okay, that's what you want to do. Now we can talk about the business. The business is the third thing you talk about. The first thing is your ideal average day. The first thing is, what do I want to achieve personally? And now let's talk about the business. Now, every 3 years, if you're evolving like the oak tree, you're reinventing yourself every 3 years. Okay, so some businesses do 5-year visions, some do 10-year visions. It depends on the organization you want to build and then how you can do it realistically. So we look at that. So I work in 3-year cycles. I want to know where we're heading to in 3 years from now. Because the most important thing our psychology needs is clarity. If you're clear on the meal you're having today, you can go to Coles, Woolworths, your local butchers or whatever, and then buy the food and know how to cook it. So the vision you had on that meal is presented to you on the plate. Now, when you don't know what you want to have for dinner, it's very difficult then to actually create the process. Is this making sense? So understand. So now we've got a 3-year vision. Now, you might look at that lifestyle, and we never talk about money, but money is important in business, right? It's cash flow is king, profit is queen. So we look at it and you go, right, for that lifestyle you want to have and that ideal average day you want to have, you need to, and this is where you want to live, and this is blah, 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 blah. And you get all that out of your head, because the number one thing that kills us is overwhelm, yeah? And that's a lack of self-management skills. So then we look at that and we go, right, for you to live that lifestyle, you're going to have to be earning 750 grand a year. Okay. Now let's just play. Say your business vision is X, Y, and Z, right? And it's 900 grand that business has got to generate in 3 years' time. So we're looking at the 12 quarters. We're looking at the last quarters. Yeah, the final quarters. We divide that by 3. That gives us 300 grand. We then have the 12-month goals of 300 grand. We divide that by 4. That gives us 75 grand. We divide that by 3, which gives us 25 grand a month. We know we got to hit 25 grand a month the first 4 quarters to hit our targets. Yeah, we know then we've got to do that. Now, you don't hit them on the first quarter, but that's the goal. That's how you're setting up your business. Now, when you come back to that first quarter of the 12 quarters, I might be overwhelming you here, guys. Now you go to yourself, what is the purpose of this first quarter? This first financial quarter, what is our purpose? It might be to get a salesperson on. Okay, then what have we got to prioritize to get a salesperson on? And under the priority goal, then you start putting in the performance goals to hit that priority goal. And then under the performance goals, you now start writing the process that must happen to meet that performance goal. You now forget about the vision. You forget about the purpose goal. You forget about the 12 months goals. You forget about the financial quarters. You forget about priorities. You forget about performance goals. You focus on that one micro thing you have to do today in the process goals. And that's how you win the game of business. So it's really, really, really this 2 things that kill us: overwhelm and procrastination. Overwhelm leads to procrastination. There's other things that can lead to procrastination, but overwhelm is a killer, because you're looking and you're in a black room and you can't see even a little bit of the door open where there's a bit of light that you can aim for. Yeah, you've got family on your back, you've got business, you might be in leadership groups, and everyone's throwing things at you. And you're sitting in this dark room, and all you hear is, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, where do I start? It's because we really haven't gone back to what is my ideal average day with my family look like. We always start with the end in mind. Because you can climb this fucking mountain, get to the top and go, and I've heard this so many times, what was I doing it all for? I'm a fucking millionaire, but I'm miserable. I've had 3 marriages, 3 divorces, not speaking to my kids. I've got a gut hanging over my belt line. I'm spending more money propping my health up than actually enjoying the money. It's because they didn't start with the end in mind. Elite athletes start with the end in mind. When I get to the Olympics, what's my personal best? What is my personal best going to be? What's my warm-up going to be like? How am I going to unwind and recover from that session? Who's my sports masseur? Who's my chiro? Who's my mindset coach? Who's my agent? This is the team they build before they even start the journey. Your org chart should be designed based on your 3-year vision. You design the org chart long before you hire someone, and then you start building your team. Clarity is vitality. Our mindset loves a destination. If I say to Dan, you fancy going for coffee? He says to me, yeah, I'd love to go for coffee in Drumwig. The next question that's coming out of his mouth is, where do you want to meet? Destination. If you decide with your partner or your family or whatever to go on holiday, before you pack the suitcase, you've got to know your destination. Are you going skiing? You're going in a flop and drop? You're going trekking? How can you make a decision without knowing the destination? If you're getting married, some of you might have been, you've probably spent more time planning your wedding than planning building an empire that's going to give you the personal life you want and allow you to live with purpose. Now, guys, I do this all day long with people. It's one of the most challenging things because people don't really know what they want. Well, I have to sort of gently ease it out of them. And sometimes there's emotions that go on because they were scared to really be who they are, because they were being conditioned to be someone for someone else, like mum, dad, uncle, teachers, or whatever. They were putting people on a pedestal and living up to their values and not living in their values. It takes courage to be you. But the moment you let go of those anchors and go, I'm just going to be me, and I'm going to get up every day and be the best version of me, that you've actually won the lottery. And you are going to be successful. And you want to line that with fulfillment, because that is true success. If you build a business and you haven't got great relationships with your kids, trust me now, I do this all day long, you're not going to be a happy man or a woman. A business is here for one reason and one reason only, and that's to improve your well-being. It takes massive courage to build a business. We can all go and get a job and someone can give us a monthly wage every week, and we can work our socks off for them, do 70 hours a week, get no thanks for it, maybe get a gold watch after about 25 years. Why not put your energy into doing that for your own dreams? Because it takes ultimate courage. To lead yourself is the ultimate sign of courage. To live around your own circadian rhythm is a sign of courage. To slow down your aging process is a sign of courage. Because if you come out of that, you speed up your aging process. One life, one goal, maximize potential. Yeah, grow like the oak tree. The game is won or lost in the process goals. Who do I need to be writing this blog right now? What do I need to research? Am I going to write about something I love and I feel aligned with, and I'm going to make a difference to my community and my world through this blog? That's the only thing that matters right there and then. The video, the presentation, all that matters is the moment. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. So we've got to understand it takes courage to be you. And this is what we do when we're working with ambitious business owners, because you've got to have courage to actually prioritize and go, right, I'm focusing on this. Everything else, I'm clearing my table and these are my priorities. I'm getting a salesperson on this financial quarter. How many videos have I got to do? What have I got to do now to create that cash flow to hire a salesperson? And the other thing is when you are living with mission, you'll be surprised how many people will want to come and work for you to not be paid. They'll want to work with you to grow and learn because they're inspired by you. And to do that, you have to live an inspired life. I've got a VA that works with me. He's actually said to me, this is the God's honest truth. Can I give you your money back that you've paid me because you've given me so much of your love? I know I'm doing the right thing. So a lot of people do not come to work for money. They come to work because they actually want to be part of something. And along the way, you nurture them to be the best version of themselves and help them make more money. But to do that, you have to live an inspired life. You have to know what your business mission is. You have to know the culture that drives it. Dan talks about this a lot. And you have to know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, you could get there and go, fuck, this is not what I wanted. Two people go into a restaurant. One goes after a training session. One goes, I am fucking starving. I could eat a horse. And the waiter goes off to the thing, goes, there's a guy out there, he could eat a horse. Another guy goes in and he goes, his mate goes in, he goes, like, I want a medium rare steak. I want carrots, broccoli, and I want it sauteed in olive oil and garlic salt. Two things can happen here. The waiter can go, we can't do that for you, sir, which means he can get up and go to another restaurant and get it. Or he can give it to him. The guy who says, I'm starving and I could eat a horse, might get a bowl of pasta and he goes, I don't like pasta, mate. It's not what I want. But you said you could eat a horse. You weren't clear on what you wanted. One guy was clear on exactly what he wanted. The other guy just said, I could eat a horse. He didn't give the waiter clarity, which means the waiter can't give the chef clarity. Understand our psychology is geared up for a destination. We are goal-seeking machines driven by the need to avoid pain and seek pleasure. And we'll do more to avoid pain than seek pleasure. So if you think you're going to upset someone with your video, you ain't doing that fucking video. But you've also stopped helping maybe 2 or 3 people improving the quality of their life because you didn't do that video. Because you're focused on your pain and not helping others. And when we start building a business, we have responsibility now, not to ourselves, to other people. So make sure you love what you do and you're in line with it and it's your purpose in life. And then you get to those process goals. I don't know if I've helped you here or I haven't got into real detail. Dan said, can you give me an example? And I sort of maybe have. Purpose of the first financial portal was let's look at January, February, March. We want to get a salesperson on it. I've got the things here, team building systems. All right, the first quarter, let's get maybe the systems in, okay? What would that system look like? What systems do you use? What's the CRM? Okay, what's the priority goals here? It might be videos. It might be content. It might be transferring the data from Gmail or wherever to the CRM. What are the priority goals? Now then you have to look at the performance goals, where we have to perform well in those areas. And then under each performance goals, we write the process goals. That financial quarter is going to kickstart you. And then you can write that in different areas. What's the purpose goal for marketing? What's our priorities here? The thing we always say is we keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. That's what we always say. And that allows us to get into flow state. Do not overthink. Do not overcomplicate. Be happy to make lots of mistakes. Make the mistake once, maximum twice, and never repeat the mistake again. A mistake is not making a mistake. A mistake is making the same mistake twice. But you can only learn from mistakes. But if you keep repeating the same mistake, that's stupidity. You're not going to grow from it. So if you go out and do a video and present and you make a mistake, you went, oh, I didn't introduce myself well at the beginning of that one. I didn't mention my name. And then you keep doing it, that's stupidity. But do the video and write down, look at it back and go, oh, I didn't introduce myself, or I didn't put a call to action in. Next time I'll do the video and my whole thing is to put a call to action in, because I ain't making that fucking mistake again. Keep it the micro, the process goals, and watch your business grow towards the vision. Watch your personal vision come to fruition and watch your average ideal day happen, because you're clear on what you want. Your brain now, your mindset knows the destination it's aiming for. It's the goal-seeking machine, our brain. But if we don't know how to feed it, we never get to what we truly want. Does that help, Dan? Because I know you've got so much gold dust to share as well.
Oh, mate, does it help? That's the understatement of the year. That's enormous. What I love, absolutely love, mate, is just defining your ideal day first and foremost, and then reverse engineering that, having a look at your personal goals, and then how can our business be a vehicle to accomplishing and achieving that? And we have a lot of the time we have our life centered around our business, And really what we can do is we can create we can inverse that and go, this is the life I want, and this is how I'm going to use business to accomplish and achieve it. So team, let's have a little action. What do you need to do off the back of Jerome's presentation there on the 4 Ps? What's the next step that you have to take? Is it define your ideal day? Is it get clearer on those personal goals so there's congruence and alignment between that and the business goals? Do we need to get a little bit more clarity and insight around the purpose goal? What's the next tangible action that you need to take? All right, I want you to put that in the chat. I want the rubber to hit the road, okay, on this. So a couple of things. Jen, define my ideal day. Encourage my partner to do the same. I love that, Jen, because you need to be aligned with your partner on that. Absolutely perfect. Feel clarity on purpose. Jude, define your ideal day and a little bit more clarity about the outcome. Great. A lot of people on the ideal day need to start at the beginning. Yeah. Stephen Covey says in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, begin with the end in mind. All right. And so we have to start there. Need to start at the beginning, clarity on the destination. What questions do you guys have? We've hit this component in good time. There's a lot more I'm about to share, but what questions do you have for Jerome on the 4P framework? Because I'd love to obviously get those answered before we move on from it as well. I guess, Jerome, I'm going to throw the first one out to you, mate, is when you present this, where do you see people struggle or challenged most?
I think it's a business question. It's a great question, Dan. I think it's a business question because when you say to someone, what are you great at? Because we just do it, don't we? We just do it. We don't think about it. And then when we say, well, go and teach it, you go, I can't teach it because I don't really know what I do. I just do it in the moment, whether it's personal training or whatever it is. And I say that to most people, what does your ideal average day look like? And the greatest thing in life is knowing thyself. Start your journey knowing thyself. And they really struggle with that. Well, what do you want to do when you get up first thing in the morning? For me, I want to go down the ocean and just do some dolphin dives and then go and get a fruit smoothie and go and get a vegetable smoothie. That's how I start my day. I just know it fills my cup up. It sets me up to be productive. And so for someone, I don't know, it might be taking their kids to school. It might be sitting around and having breakfast with their family before there is not a right or a wrong answer here. It's just what fills up your cup. When you walk out the front door or go to the office in your thing, how do you actually want to feel when you walk in there? Do you want to, it might be to make love with your partner in the morning. There's no rules here, but it's all about you filling up your cup before you actually start work. One of the things I always say, we cannot give other people a sip of water from an empty vessel. So let's fill ourselves up with water, with fluid, with energy, with vitality, and then we can go and serve. It might be walking your kids to school. It might be meditating. It might be going for a swim. It might be just doing some stretching. It might be doing some yoga. It might be going for a walk with your partner and talking about life. Anything that's not to do with work that just fills your cup up. Now, the thing about your ideal average day is it might not happen straight away, but you know what you're building towards. You might go in these first 2 quarters, this is what the priority is, but I know what I'm working towards. Your brain then goes, this is why we're doing it, so we can have that meal. I'm going to Coles and Woolworths, e.g. the business, to get the ingredients and put it all together so I can have the meal, which is the ideal average day in the future. I know I can do this so I can travel to Walt Disney every year with my kids in 3 years' time. So Brad's just had kids. If he sets this up now, he might want to take his kids to Walt Disney. That might be one of his personal goals. Can I do that and then come back and have a flop and drop holiday because Walt Disney's... This is where your psychology now is gearing you up to create that. Because when you do that as a dad or a mum, you come back to the business more energized. You're not now in Groundhog Day. you're growing into a jacket. And once you've grown into it, you go and buy another jacket and it's oversized again. You go, how do I grow into this jacket? And this is the psychological growth. Always be looking to evolve. But the psychology has a destination. So just be honest with yourself. What fills your cup up in the morning? For me, it's swimming and having that vegetable smoothie. I know when I do that, I kickstart my day. It's like that motorbike. I kickstart it and I'm ready to rumble, you know, and do that. Sometimes I have to go hang out with some guys down and have a laugh because they're good banter. They ground me. They take the piss out of me. We banter the hell out of each other. That grounds me. If I'm getting too big for my boots, those guys ground me. Who the fuck do you think you're? Blah, blah, blah. It brings me back down to earth. We need that in our lives. We're human beings. We're not robots. We need friendships. What I say to the guys a lot, if once you're on the purpose-driven world, you are on 7 days a week. So 7 days a week, there is no weekends. So you work 7 days a week, you play 7 days a week, you rest 7 days a week, you rejuvenate 7 days a week, and you nurture your friendship 7 days a week. I don't know about you guys. Sometimes I have my best light bulb moments when I'm in the ocean swimming on a Sunday afternoon for a video. I come back and do that video while it's there because I'm in creative mode. But then I will still spend time with my partner and sit and ask her about her challenges, what she wants from the day. How can I help her? But I've done something creative and the video now is ready to go out. Business leadership is not an employment mindset. It's an entrepreneurial mindset. You never know when you're going to get your great creativity moment that you're going to put in a book. You should all be thinking about writing a book, guys. All you should be thinking about writing a book, putting your IP in a book. Whether it's an ebook or a book you actually want to sell because you want to live with purpose. You want to have your methodology. I know Dan's got his methodology. That should be turned into a book. To do that, Dan needs thinking time. He needs strategic thinking time. He needs to go down to the ocean, have a swim and think about it. He needs to get away and be on his own. When he does that, he fills his cup up. Then he can fill everyone else's cup up. He can be present for his son, present for his daughter, or whatever, present for his partner. But it's so important that you fill your cup up. Burnout was a big one through this message, okay? Love what you do and then go and share it with the world. Make a difference to your community. Money will chase you then. I'm here now at a resort doing this presentation. Massive swimming pool down there. I'm going to go and hit the ocean afterwards, spend some time with a partner that I'm with, and then I'm going to come back to work. Because that's my circadian rhythm. Understand what your circadian rhythm. You might want to go, Jimmy likes to go and play tennis. Go and play tennis for an hour and then come back and do some work. Yeah. Entrepreneurial mindset is different to an employment mindset. It's not Monday to Friday. And then I'm burnt out Saturday and Sunday. No, we're pacing the marathon. So when I get to my 3-year vision, I've got a great relationship with my partner. I've connected with my kids. I've connected with friends. I've produced immense work for my community. I've actually had a great fitness program. My fitness has improved because I've been consistent in filling up my cup every day. When I've got high energy, I train with high energy. When I've got medium energy, I train with medium intensity. And when I've got low energy, I train with low intensity. I always turn up for my fitness sessions, but they're not always of high energy. Who do I need to be? So when I go back to work, I fill my cup up. And that could be just a stretch session. Remember, when you live with purpose, you must have good stress management routines that fill your cup up daily. To be switched on, we've got to learn how to switch off. Say that, Dan? Sorry, buddy.
I love it. Preach it. I don't think we hear it enough. And it's just a really refreshing message.
Yeah. I'm passionate about helping dads. You know that, Dan. And when you said the other day and all that, I just felt for you, man. And it's like, you know what? The relationship with your kid is going to be the most important thing in your life at the end of the day. To be able to go, money, I know because I've been through it and other people, that money is a tool. What really matters is the vision you have for your personal life, your ideal average day, and the team you have, and enjoying those relationships and growing and evolving. And money allows us to do that. It's not the goal, money. It's the tool that gives us the vision. It's the goal. It's the tool that gives us the ideal average day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't need to earn as much as we think we need to earn to have the ideal average day. But most people chase the goal of money because they don't know what their ideal average day is. And so it's based on ego, not your authentic self. Yeah. And so I know a lot of you on here have worked with the rich, and some of you might have worked with the famous. I know I have when I was a fitness coach, and big houses, beautiful cars and everything, but they weren't happy people. They were great at making money though. Hedge funders and stockbrokers and all that lot. They were on cocaine. They didn't go to gym. They were burnt out. They had 3 or 4 marriages that broke up. Yet these guys were wealthy, but not happy. So remember, money is the tool to give you a great life. It's not the great life, money. Your relationships with your partner, your children, your friends, all these things that allow you to fill up your cup so you can get into flow state with your work. It's really important, guys. This is why you should do with the elite athletes, you know, for them to be, my job was to keep them happy. Because when they're happy, they perform better. When they're unhappy, they don't perform consistently. And we're talking about the word consistency here. We want to complete the journey, not get burnt out halfway up the mountain. And the most important thing for you is your well-being. And the relationship you have with yourself, and then the relationship with people you need to have around you, that's actually going to help you become a better version of yourself, that are going to challenge you when you're living below the line. When your standards are dropping, they're going, hey, you're better than this. They're not doing it because they dislike you. They're doing it because they want to help you maintain your standards. If I was dropping my standards, Dan would pick up the phone and go, hey, Jerome, what's going on? You're better than this. That's what a good mate does. Do you need any help? Can I help you? They're the people you want around you. Not hold you to low standards, raise you up to your best standards. Hey, why aren't you getting up and going for a swim? What's going on? You got a cold? You got flu? You might have flu. Okay, then stay in bed. I'll go and get you some lemon drink. But you ain't get the fuck out of bed and go for a swim. Stop having a pity party. And then an hour later, you feel like King Kong. Because we're the greatest at talking ourselves out of victory. Yeah, we've got to have the skills to talk ourselves into victory on a daily basis. And when we do that, success is guaranteed because it's a science. But first, we've got to be clear on the destination. And when we get that right, we then know what to do in the process goals. Yeah, it's so important. Dan, that was a long answer, wasn't it?
It was a long answer, but there was lots and lots of gold there, mate. Absolutely fantastic. And particularly at yourself, when we set standards, we either rise to those standards or we fall short of them. But the greatest regret, and I got this from Ed Milet, the greatest regret that we can have in life is to meet the person we could have become. And that is why you need people around you to hold you to that higher standard. So when you are having a pity party, when you are letting yourself off the hook, when you are taking the path of least resistance, they're there to uphold you to that greater standard. And that's why, I'm a coach and I believe so much in mentorship and coaching, because you need people to hold you to that because they know what you're capable of. Often they can see what you're capable of more than they can themselves, the individual can themselves. So very, very important. Thank you so much, Jerome. I really love that. If you guys love that, just give him a little round of applause, because I'm going to get, yeah, lots of people love that. Lots of people love that. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go into something a little bit more pragmatic now. We're really going to dive into some heavy lifting and some planning. So if you've got a calendar, get it out. If you've got a pen, paper, make sure that it is full, because this is a really helpful framework for making sure that you're organized in 2022. What I'm just about to do before I do that is I've just dropped a link in the chat. Now, if you do want to be held to a higher standard, if you want somebody to mentor you like Jerome, like myself, and help you unleash that potential, the person that you can be, then book a call with one of our team and we can tell you how. All right. That's the easiest way, because that's what we love to do, isn't it, Jerome?
Yeah, at 100%, buddy.
All right. Let's map out our year now, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so this is really getting all the pieces in order. This is helping you get organized. So everything is seamless. You're not operating from a place of reactivity, but rather you're proactive. You're attacking the year itself. So here's all the considerations. Here's everything I want you to look at. Number one is holiday dates. Jerome just talked about filling your cup up. You can't pour from an empty cup. So how are you going to prioritize yourself? How are you going to prioritize that rest and, just refuel? I need you to put in holidays. Every single quarter, every 90 days, there needs to be a break. Now, that may be just a long weekend. It might be going up to, the Airbnb up the coast. All right. But you need to have an extended period where you're not just consumed with all the everyday life things that are just coming at you left, right, and center. So everyone needs to prioritize that. Okay. I need you to do it. It's so, so important. You are your creative. You are your best. You are your most magnetic. You are your most energized when that cup is full. All right. A lot of people think they just need to grind it out. I'm not going to take holidays. It's for the week. I'm going to do longer hours. But really what you come across is you come across with poor energy. You come across tired. You come across fatigued. There's nothing attractive about that. There's nothing magnetic about that. That's what leads to the stress. That's what leads to the overwhelm. So let's start mapping and prioritizing those holiday dates every quarter. All right. I need you to do that for me. Next one. You need to surround, and I'm going to talk about this later on, this is a summit that I'm going to be running. Jerome's going to be there. A lot of the guys from the elite program, Inner Circle program are going to be there. We're holding a summit, a 2-day summit. Put it in your diary, because you are who you spend time with. If you want more, if you want to be a better business owner, best way to do it, start hanging around other better business owners, because they talk differently, they think differently, they act differently, they do things differently. You are a product of your environment. So put that elite summit in your calendar. And if you want to find out more, click that link that I just put in the chat and we'll tell you more about it. Next one, seminars, workshops, courses. One of the earlier questions, one of the 6 questions that I asked when I opened this up was, what skills do you need to attain? What skills do you need to develop to grow your business, to project it forward? Great, you identified some of those. What seminars, workshops, and courses do you need to now book into? Let's map it out. Let's attack the year with intention. All right, that's why I asked those questions. Now, what seminars, workshops, and courses are we going to do and undertake, maybe for us and maybe for our team, so we are better at our craft, so we enhance those skills? Quarterly reviews, very, very important. We need to work in sprints. All right, really, success is a series of sprints. All right, and so you need to have a 90-day sprint. You have kind of a decompress kind of zone. And in that, you need to do a proper review. What worked? What didn't work? And one of the frameworks I like for this is the 3 Ps. All right. What really worked about our product in the last 90 days? What was good about it? What went well? Were we happy with the results? Were we happy with the experience? So product, number 1. What didn't go as well as I would have liked with that product? So what went well? What didn't go well? All right. How could we have improved it? Maybe our retention rate wasn't quite as there. Maybe it didn't deliver the guarantee that it should have. Maybe the onboarding process could be better. All right. So we've got the product itself. Number 2 is people. All right. What went well with our people? Who was going well? Who was fired up? Who was operating at the absolute, their absolute best? Who wasn't going as well? Where do we need to maybe do some, transition? Maybe we need to move the seats on the bus. Maybe we need to get some more people on the bus. Maybe we've got the right people, but they're in the wrong seats on that bus. All right. So people, very, very important. Are we looking at our people? Are we doing quarterly reviews with them? Are we making sure that we're constantly up-leveling our team? And then the last one is productivity. How can I be more productive? All right. How do I manage my energy better? All right. Do I need a better morning routine? Do I need a not to do list? Do I need something like a Kanban board? Do I need to use the perfect week formula, a formula that we teach in our coaching programs to get really structured around our weeks? Do I actually need to use maybe a Pomodoro timer? Do I need less distractions and maybe some social media blockers? What is it about my productivity? What went well? What didn't go well? All right, quarterly reviews, put them in. Very, very important. Major events. Now, these are for your business. All right, what major events are you going to get excited about in your business for your members and probably yourself as well? Is there running events? Is there obstacle races? Is it powerlifting events? What are we going to get people really enthused about? Maybe it's a walk. I know Jackie does these amazing walks, for example. What events, active events, are we going to put into our calendar that we're going to plan around? So now we're starting to get this jigsaw puzzle and we're starting to put the pieces together. And one of the ways that I love to do this, guys, is I love to just buy this big annual calendar, right? And you can get it from Officeworks and you can see the whole year. And just from a macro perspective, you're starting to now populate it with all these dates. So you know the rhythm of your year, you know what's going where, you're not double booking or anything, and it's now prioritized. Because if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't happen. And you'll get to the same point in 2022 and you'll go, oh, I really wish we did a major event in the facility itself in our business. No. We're not going to have any regret at the end of 2022. All right, none. Social events. What social events are you putting in for your business? Very, very important. I talked about the biggest trends in the industry in 2022 at our elite immersion. And one of the biggest trends is going to be community and culture. All right. It used to be that the fitness business was the third place. You spend most of your time at your home, in your workplace. Well, now, because of the way the world works, it's now becoming our second place, our second space, because our home and our work are, one and the same in many, many cases. And so now people need a place where they can be around other like-minded people that share the same values, that have the same, the same likes and dislikes. They want connection. If nothing else this world has told us is that we've just lacked personal face-to-face connection. So how are we going to facilitate more of that within our business? We know it's important. We know connection, we know culture, we know community are the most important things, all right, in our business moving forward. It is our secret weapon against those bigger businesses. We may not have the facility. All right. We may not have the fit outs. We may not have the technology. We may not have the IG fans, but what we do have is we have community and culture like no other. And one of the elements that will help you foster that even more so are social events. So what social events are you going to put in there? All right. Some of the things that we like to do is you might do excursion sessions outside of your normal places. You might do active events. We've done surfing, paddleboarding, barefoot bowls. We've done rock climbing. We've done, just wine nights. We've done cooking classes. What are some of the things that you can do together? You might be beers and banter on a Friday night, but you need to have them. Internal programs and challenges. All right. You need to be running different, it might be a kickstart. It might be a transformation program. It might be just something to increase frequency of attendance, but you need to be running these at least 3 times per year. Remember, it's 7 times easier to sell to your current clients than it is to new clients. So this is great for them. They also need outcomes and goals that they're working towards. So what can we put in place that gets them inspired, that gets them engaged? You need at least 3 per year. Staff retreats. If you have staff, you need to be putting this in. It might be just a 1 day, but you need to be taking them off site where you can share the vision. This is what we're about. This is our purpose. This is why the business exists. This is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. You need to share the values. This is how we're seeing. This is the DNA of the organization. This is the culture we're building. You need to share the goals of the business and how you're accomplishing them. You need to get them enthused. People want to be part of something bigger than themselves. People are begging to be led. A retreat is a great way to do so. Then, next one, charity training sessions. You know, I believe a business is a vehicle for bigger change. I really do. How can we be raising money and awareness to worthy causes? Great way to do so is through charity training sessions. Need at least a couple on the calendar, at least 2. All right, bring a friend weeks, seminars, workshops. And then the last one is war plans. Now, our clients will know what war plans are. For those that don't, it is monthly marketing. It's a monthly marketing activity that we do, all right, to old clients, to prospects, all right? And it's a series of marketing activities to help us build the business. Now our year is starting to take shape. And by putting it in now, you know, by spending some time now, we're going to make sure that this stuff is done. You're going to be so far ahead of everybody else, but more importantly, you're just going to be more confident. You're going to be less stressed. You're going to sleep well at night. You're going to take some time off over Christmas, knowing that you've got a massive year and knowing that you've prioritized everything that's important. So I need you guys to do something for me because I know I've just moved through this quickly. I need you to get out your calendars, whether they're on your phone, whether it is, you know, on your iPad, whether it's in a actual paper diary like me. And I need you to book at least 90 minutes in the next 7 days where you're going to populate that calendar, where you're going to give this more shape. Because all I've done is given you the framework. Now, you know, I've given you the skeleton. You need to go and fill in all the details. All right, that's the next most important thing. Jerome, is there anything that you wanted to add to this, mate, in terms of the planning and mapping out their year? Any other considerations for the guys?
I think you've done. I think it's brilliant, Dan. No, Bunny, I can't think of anything. In fact, you've got the charity training one, mate. I've got that on my to-do list now, buddy.
Awesome.
I'm gonna do a couple of them. Yeah.
We'll get a bunch of people doing them together. We'll get a bunch of people doing them together. If you guys have questions on any of this, drop it in the chat and I'll make sure that I've covered it as well. So yeah, war plans. So what they are is it's a series. So within our coaching programs, we teach war plans. What it is it's a series of text messages, emails, social media posts that go out at the first week of every month. And it is to old clients. It is to prospects that have never actually engaged in your services, and it's to your social media followings. And by deploying your war plan every single month on a regular basis, prioritizing it and having it in your calendar, you end up with a host of new clients every single month as well. So it's just a really systematic way, and we've built that all out. Would you consider major events and social events under the same thinker? And yeah, you can intertwine those, right? So you can go, you know, I used to always run a running group leading up to charity, leading up to City to Surf, for example. So that would be a really good external event for us. We'd put on free training, we'd get a whole bunch of new clients come in and build our community in doing so. Then I'd do some social events, and I'd do social events every 2 to 3 months thereabouts, and they don't have to be complex. That's the other thing. You know, you don't need to overcomplicate it. They can be really, really simple. The other one that I really like as well, and I didn't put it in there, and it was remiss of me not to do so, is Client Appreciation Week. So I absolutely implore everyone, I mean, you should be appreciating your clients all the time, but you do a special week, and you might just do this twice a year, but it's where you bring in maybe breakfast for them, all right, and you have that at the end of every session for the whole week. It might be just, smoothies and yogurts and whatever else, but it's just a way of showing your appreciation. Maybe you actually put a tab at the cafe that's within walking distance, and you say, get whatever you want after your training session for the whole week because we love you and we appreciate you. It's a very small act, but it makes a big difference. It really does. All right, next thing that I want to go through, next framework. I've got lots of frameworks to finish up today. Next one is, what do you do when you get off track? Because the reality is this, is if we now create this perfect plan, like Jerome's talked about it, we've got all these process goals, we've got these outcome goals, we've got this perfect calendar, and we're like, yep, we're all set. If you think it's going to be this straight line to success, this smooth road, then I'm sorry to say that's not going to be the case. All right. And this year and last year has taught us that more than any other, right? It's been tough, all right, as fitness business owners, and I'm still a fitness business owner. It hasn't been easy, right? And so the best laid plans can get thrown out the window. And I love this, what success, what people think it looks like, what it really looks like, right? That's the reality of it. And so I'm just going to give you a really simple 7-step system, because it's not if you go off track, it's when you go off track, because it's definitely going to happen. And then I have no doubt that Jerome will contribute some real value to this as well, because this is, another area on where he shines. So number one, I think the first thing is just be kind to yourself. Like if you're off track and you end up not meeting a goal, or you end up, not executing your plan for the day or the week, or you didn't make the dials that day that you should have, or whatever it is, just understand that you're human. All right. Understand that this happens to all of us. Be kind to yourself. Forgive yourself. All right. It's not unique. All right. We are all imperfect creatures. All right. We are constantly making mistakes. And I like Jerome's thing before. It's like, it's stupidity when you're making the same mistake multiple times, but you need to be making mistakes. And if you're aspiring to more in your business in 2022, if you're aspiring for more from yourself, then you should be making mistakes on a regular basis. All right. It's a hallmark of it. It's a hallmark of that growth mindset. Secondly, it's not that you're off track that matters. That doesn't matter at all. It's actually how quickly you can bounce back. It's the term that I've heard Bedros Keuilian use is bounce back ability. How quickly can I get back to the plan itself? All right. And what happens is, a lot of the time the amateur will go off track, but then they will stay off track. But how quickly the professional, once they're off track, they'll get back on track straight away. They have a bad training session, then they're not sitting in their room feeling sorry about themselves. They're going to get back to the track the next day, and they're going to make sure that it's a better training session. And so you need to get back on track as quick as you can. You need to schedule it back in. We see it with our clients. They miss a session. That ends up meaning they miss a week, which then means they miss a month. And then they put in that cancellation. Why? Because they haven't scheduled the return back as quickly as they possibly can. So you need to schedule the processes back into your day. You didn't make your calls, that's okay. Put it in for the next day. You didn't do your social media post, that's okay. Put it in for the next day and make sure that it's a priority. This one's a big one, all right? And I talked about it before. I said you need to be accountable to someone other than yourself, because we often let ourselves off the hook. I know I do. All the time I let myself off the hook, okay? As humans, we take the path of least resistance. We end up doing the things that we like, and we avoid the things that we don't, all right? We do it with ourselves in the gym. We do it in business as well. But what we don't like to do is we don't like to let others down, all right? We really don't. So who do you respect? Who do you really not want to disappoint, and be accountable to them? And this is why coaching and mentorship works, because you're now accountable to someone other than yourself. You're now accountable to someone that you don't want to greatly disappoint. So who is that person going to be for you? Who can you be accountable to? Put it in the chat. Who are you going to be accountable to? Because it's inevitable that you're going to go off track in 2022. Who's going to be in your corner that's going to get you back on track? Who's going to hold you to that higher standard? Who is going to ensure that you are successful in reaching your 2022 aspirations and goals? Who is going to be your accountability partner? Very, very important. Put it in the chat. Yeah, so Kieran, Jimmy, great. You've got him. You've got him in. You dial him in weekly. Fantastic. And I know that you don't want to, Jimmy's going to call you out. All right. Renal, it's me. Good. Me, Rusty. Good. Lots of my clients on here, which is awesome to see. All right. Sarah, Dan, great. You need somebody. Nikki, me, and Jen. Yeah, you need to be accountable to someone other than yourself. Mark, Jerome. Awesome. If you don't have that person, let's find that person. All right. Renee, Dan, and Jen. Awesome. Number 5, accept imperfection. All right. I, for a long time, had too much ego attached to the perfect outcome. As a result of that, guess how much action I actually took? Very little. All right. Not enough. And it's because I was always trying to project the perfectionism. All right. How many words have I stumbled on this presentation? 1,000. All right. That's okay. Right. Imperfect action trumps perfect action every single time. Success loves speed. Delay kills dreams. Accept that imperfection. You're human. You'll get a lot more done when you do so, and when you acknowledge it. Change your environment. If you find yourself off track, you might need to change your physical environment. Maybe you're working in a place that's not, not producing your best. Maybe you're trying to, do work within your gym and there's people coming left, right, and center. They're engaging in conversations. Maybe you're at home and the kids are running riot. Maybe you just need to get out and work at the local cafe. Maybe you need to immerse yourself in nature. Maybe if you have a look at your desk right now, how does that need to be changed and optimized? Is your phone too close? Maybe on your phone, is your social media just popping notifications left, right, and center? Shift your environment. And then the last one, and I think this one's really important, is you've got to ask for help, guys. You're not on your own. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to put this on. Jerome and I aren't getting paid for today, but we want to help you. And there are lots of people out in your community, within your sphere of influence, that want to help. So make sure that you swim towards them, not away from them. An analogy that I give my coaching clients is you're going to be off track. There's going to be days where you feel like drowning. Now, I need you to wave so I can come out there and save you. If you're out in the ocean right now, I need you to wave that hand and ask for help, because I will do everything in my power to rescue you. But if you don't, then that's not going to help anybody, especially you. So, Jerome, that's my 7 steps to follow when you're off track. Is there anything you wanted to add to that, my man?
Mate, they're absolute gold dust, buddy. I'm writing them down. A couple of things if we want to go deep into psychology. The thing we say, we don't, as a performer, and this is really important, as a performer, when you're dedicated to becoming the best version of yourself, as a performer, we don't rise to our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. So when I'm talking like this, I'm talking about being under pressure. So you're training someone to perform under pressure, whether it's doing a presentation like this, whether it's someone sticking a mic under your mouth after you've lost the game. Is that there's moments of pressure where it's not how we perform in our everyday life that we're training our psychology for. We're training ourselves to perform and be calm and relaxed under pressure. And that's a skill that we build our psychology into. It's a muscle we build. So, yeah, we never rise to our expectations. We always fall to the level of our training. So unless you're actually training, if someone says this is hard, what they're actually saying is I'm untrained. I'll say that again. If someone says this is hard, or this, not so much this is tough, but if this is hard, what they're saying is I'm untrained in it. And so so we're talking about flow state here. The ultimate in flow state is when you're under pressure, you can still be you. We can, Olympic part and the neocortex of our mind or brain can kick in. We don't go into the primal part of our brain or our amygdala. Okay, we don't go into fight or flight. We can stay in flow state. fight, flight, or freeze. So understanding the more you get trained as a human being in handling yourself under pressure, the more you're going to enjoy life. And the metaphor I use is if you go into the gym and you've got a barbell and there's 20K on each side, plus the barbell, which is 20K, which is 60K. The first time you go in there and try and push it, it's going to be tough. And then you might go regularly, and then you get your personal trainer to get you to lift it more. And then you can do it 10 times. The bar hasn't got lighter. You've got stronger. So it feels lighter. You'll be saying, can you put some more weight on because this is too easy? That's the same thing with our mental and emotional and spiritual being in our psychology, is I'm performing calmly and relaxed, yet I'm in a war zone. This is how we train the Marines. This is how you train elite athletes, because you're under the spotlight. Remember, most of the people that criticize are in the terraces, the spectators. They're too scared to play the game. They're the ones that are going to criticize you for, because they don't know what it's like being in the game. And you got to understand that as a business owner, you're in the game. You're not sitting in the terraces criticizing but that's where your criticism.
You there, Jerome? I think he's dropped out for a moment. Has he dropped out? Just, resort Wi-Fi, tough life. All right. He's dropping bombs. We'll bring him back on. Here he is. You dropped out for a moment, mate.
Where did I drop out, Dan?
Mate, I couldn't tell you. I was trying to see if it was on mine.
All right, then. Yeah, so I don't know. So let me just quickly then go on imperfection. There's a saying out there that, if you're seeking perfection, you're living in fear. Well, it's not so much you're seeking perfection. What you're terrified of is criticism, okay? And you're procrastinating around hearing the criticism, and you're trying to overdo it. Because when you actually value, now perfecting the perfecter is actually a value. It's a very high value. Let me explain this. If I'm getting on a plane and that pilot hasn't been trained to land that plane perfectly, I want that pilot to be trained to land that plane perfectly if my family are on it. If my son or daughter needs a brain operation, I want that brain surgeon to make the perfect operation. So perfection is a value. And if you actually value perfection, Toyota live by the word through perfection. They will test and trial the car so many times and put a mannequin in it and smash it into a wall, because they want those airbags to go off perfectly if you're in that car. So if you actually do run the value of perfectionism, you will have a high-class business, because you will test and trial your product so it's so tight and it delivers the greatest results for your clients, because you actually want it to be perfect. But if you fear criticism, you'll overuse the word perfectionism. I hope that makes sense, Dan.
No, it's gold, mate. Gold. Absolutely fantastic.
There's nothing wrong with perfectionism as long as it's improving your well-being and the results in your business.
No,
but if you fear criticism, you won't be the brain surgeon. You won't land. Do you know how much tests and trials they have to go through before they're allowed to operate on a brain? Do you know how many tests and trials a pilot has to go through before he's allowed to land a plane in real time? Do you know how many times a Toyota car gets smashed into the wall to test it? That's what we want to look at our products and our services. Test and trial the fuck out of your products and services. Be perfect, but don't let it stop you progressing. And that's the thing.
I think that's the key. That's the key differentiation. Do not let it stop you progressing. I think that's a very, very important point. Guys, out of those 7 steps, when you the 7-step formula on what to do when you're off track, which one do you need to be better at in 2022? Just put the number in the chat so we know that's going to be an area of focus, because you guys are going to put together a killer plan. Which one do you need to be better at on that? Great. Renee, you've just said all of them. Fantastic. Good. So everyone's got something tangible there. All right. Something to focus on. All right. Last major framework before we finish up today, and then I've got a little bonus tip as well. This is a framework that I've learned from a couple of people, but I've got my own spin on it as well. It's called the lead formula. And essentially what it is, it's about getting more from yourself. It's about creating more freedom. It's about creating more leverage for you and your business in 2022. It's a really important process. You may have heard me speak about it before. Great. You need to go and do it, and you need to do it on a regular basis. So it's an acronym, obviously. LEAD. I need you to list absolutely everything that you do on a day-to-day basis. That's how it starts. All right. We need to observe what we do. If we want to improve someone's nutrition, what do? We ask them to keep a nutrition diary, a food diary. Same with us. We're going to do a time diary. A lot of people come to me going, Dan, I don't have enough time. No. You've got enough time. You just don't know how to utilize it. All right. Dan, I've got too much stress and overwhelm. Yeah, that's because you're doing too many things. And we either need to eliminate, automate, or delegate. And that's the other three: eliminate, automate, and delegate. Now, this is one of the most powerful frameworks you'll ever learn. It really is. I'm holding it that high. And so I'm going to share this, and I'm going to share this in detail. All right. So we list. All right. You need to list over 2 days. All right. You need to do a list over 2 days and have a look. 2 very, very different days, 15-minute increments. Everything that you're doing personally, professionally, what you're doing in that moment. Now, the first thing that you're going to get is you're going to get major insight, because there's no doubt there's a whole bunch of leakages and of time and energy that you're just not aware of at that point in time. All right. So that's the first thing. And now we've got a list. We've got this comprehensive list of 2 days. And now we get to work on that list. And you really need to hold everything under the microscope and go, is this moving me or my business forward? That's the filter that you put it through. Is this task? Is this activity? Is this person? Is this moving me or my life forward? And if it doesn't, guess what we do? We eliminate it. Because right now you're probably doing a whole bunch of things and you haven't questioned why. Maybe you're not even aware that you're doing. Maybe they're subconscious. We're going to bring it into the consciousness. And we're going to eliminate anything that doesn't move you or your business forward. Now, I don't just mean from a business perspective. I mean on your personal habits as well. You know, I need to eliminate, again, like I keep slipping into some bad habits. I need to eliminate social media after 10 p.m. All right, after 9 p.m. Sorry. I need to eliminate looking at my phone first thing in the morning. All right. I need to eliminate that. I need to eliminate looking at my phone during task. I need you to be absolutely ruthless with this. Let's clear it out, because there's a lot of opportunity. You're probably going, I want to do more marketing. I want to do more sales. I want to do more upskilling. I want to do, just more of everything. But unless we create the space for it, we're only going to create more overwhelm. We're only going to create more stress. There's going to be opportunity costs. So let's start making life easier. Let's start making life simpler. All right. Jerome before said, keep it simple, stupid. All right. So we need to eliminate. We need to eliminate everything that doesn't serve us, doesn't serve our business, and be fucking ruthless. Like, be absolutely ruthless with this. Secondly, automate. All right. A lot of people said systems before. All right. A lot of people come to me for coaching because they want to get better at becoming a CEO. They want to get better as a business owner. And you have to eliminate first, then you systemize, optimize, automate in that process. All right. So we automate. If you're doing lead follow-up right now and it's all manual, then again, you're using a lot of energy and time that you don't need to be. Lead nurturing should be automated. Client onboarding, a lot of it should be automated. Client check-ins should be automated. All right. A large percentage of it, not all of it, but a large percentage. I mean, if you have a look at all of that and how many hours, how much bandwidth that is taking up of your week, there's just an opportunity for it to be automated. If you want another 1,000 more things that you could automate, speak to Josh Buss. All right. Because he is the king of automation. All right. And then the biggest one is delegate. All right. This is my biggest one. A lot of us are not working within our zone of genius. A lot of us are not really utilizing the magical skills that we were born with. Instead, we're just trying, like we're wearing all these different hats and we're doing a whole bunch of things that we might do okay. We might even do them well, but we don't do them great. We don't do them best in the world. And again, this is both in your personal life and professional life. You know, I tell, you know, all of our clients that come in, if you're doing admin, stop it, because you're not the world's best administrator. There's no doubt that you're not, you weren't put on this earth to do admin. I don't think anyone on this call says, yep, that's exactly my calling, was to do admin. All right. You're probably an amazing coach. You deliver an incredible experience, great value, great results, but all you're doing is dulling that when you're doing hours and hours of admin. Bookkeeping. I don't think anyone on here is the world's best bookkeeper. All right. Cleaning and anything that resembles graphic design. Here's my pet hate. Fitness business owners thinking that they are Steven Spielberg, all right, and doing all their own video editing, all right? Or they think they're graphic designers. You know, oh, Dan, I love getting on in Canva, you know, making this pretty graphic and this and that. Send it to Upwork, go and pay somebody who's 10 times more talented than you $5 an hour. Go and pay that cleaner $30 an hour. All right, both not only with, it might be within your physical studio or gym or whatever else, but also at home. Like, is that the best use of your time? You know, I got this amazing cleaner, Fenny. You know, she spends 6 hours on a Saturday. Now, could I do it? I could probably do it 1/10 as well. But then that's 6 hours less that I have time to spend with my partner, my kids, and on my business. And you might go, Dan, this is so expensive. Look at that. It's that scarcity mindset. It's you thinking that is holding you back right now. Because if you have a look at it, even just from a coaching perspective, you know, there's no way you should be making under $80 an hour just from coaching. All right. Everything I've just said then can be done for $40 an hour or less, far less in many cases. So now I get to buy back time. This is the beauty of delegation. It is the power to buy back time. So we want to be buying back as much time as you possibly can. Personal life. Guess what I've had around my house this week? Today, all day, 2 gardeners. I'm not going to do the gardening. I'm not that good at it and I don't enjoy it. I'd rather be here doing what I'm good at and what I enjoy, serving you guys. Had a pool guy this week. All right. Got a nanny in today. All right. Got my cleaner in tomorrow. All right. Make that, buy back time to spend it with the things that you love doing most with the people that you love most. Amy, I love that you're all about outsourcing. Love it. And really, what stops many of us from doing so, like you, Amy, right now, is scarcity. It really is. It's because you want to hold on to it and it's the wrong mindset. We need to have that abundance mindset. You need to trust in yourself. You really, really do. Kieran, you've had to do it out of necessity. And this is, I actually think it's really valuable. When you get sick, travel, or injured, it forces you to get better at this stuff. You want to get really good at delegating, go away for a while. Forces you to step up that delegation. So that's the lead framework. I presented it really quickly, but you follow that lead framework. You list everything you do. You eliminate all the unnecessary. You automate, you delegate. In 2022, you're going to have more energy. You're going to have more freedom. You're going to have more time to spend on the most important things, both personally and professionally. Little heat check. What do you need to get better at in the EAD process, the lead process in 2022? What needs to, where's the area of opportunity for you so you have more time? Nikki, E, eliminate. Marg, eliminate. Great. Lots of people eliminate. I love that. I love that. Let's make life easier. Let's not add a whole bunch more stuff. Lots and lots of people. Eliminate, automate, delegate. Great. Nice mix there. Fantastic. The whole lead formula. Good. All right. Last thing, guys, before I'm going to wish us well on this great Friday afternoon. A lot of you want more. A lot of you want more from your business. A lot of you want more from your lives. Okay. You do. You're aspirational. You're growth minded. You want to accomplish more so you can impact more people. You can have more freedom and you can have more income. Okay. One of the best ways to do so, one of the absolute ways, and I've said this and I'll say it again, is your environment. All right. Because ultimately, you know, there's only two major ways to really change. All right. One of them is through your environment and changing your environment and who you spend time with, because most of us have this default temperature. All right. We have a default temperature that we operate to. So that default temperature might be 20 degrees, right? And it's a little like the person who comes in for weight loss. All right. They come in, they lose a whole bunch of weight. So they raise that thermostat. Now they're operating at 25 degrees. They've shed those kilos. You speak to them in a year's time, where are they back? They've put on that weight again. They're back, and they're back at that 20 degrees because they keep going back to that baseline temperature, that baseline room temperature on the thermostat itself. Now, right now, if you look at your business and you go, I'm at a 20 degrees, but I really want to get to a 25 degrees to accomplish my ideal average day, to achieve what I want to achieve personally, I need to step that up. I need to achieve more. But not only do I want to step that up, I want to make sure that I stay there. The best way to do so is to spend more time with the people that are at 25 degrees, 26 degrees, 27 degrees, because that's infectious. You get in rooms like this where people are positive, where people are giving, where people are intelligent, where people just think differently, act differently. That's going to keep you there. That's going to get you from that 20 to 25. That's going to get you above and beyond that. And that's going to keep you there. And so I want you in more rooms like that. If you want to be in more rooms like this and you're not currently right now, then book a call with our team and let's get you in more rooms like that. Let's make that happen for you. Because why operate at a 20 degrees when you're capable of operating at a 25 degrees? You just got to change your environment and be around the right people. That's got to be a priority for you in 2022. So that's what I wanted to share with you to finalize our presentation today. If you've got value from today, just give us a hell yeah in the comments, or a yes. Just give us some affirmation if you have got value. Yeah, awesome. Hell yeah, yes, absolutely. Hell yeah, always. Great. Yes, thank you so much, team. Hell yeah. Awesome, guys. It's been a real privilege, Jerome, to present with you, mate. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, my man. I've really, really enjoyed every moment with you, mate. And I appreciate each and every one of you on here today. Jerome, did you want to say anything to the guys before we officially wrap up?
Dan, I'd like to thank you for inviting me on and talking about a subject that's close to my heart. My psychology was not always in the best place. And so I had to, the brain is the computer, the mindset is the software. My software was a virus and I had to change that virus. I had to get it out. And so, yeah, it's close to my heart, how we think, how we process information and how we take action. And yeah, thank you for inviting me on, Dan, so I could talk about something that's close to my heart. And well done, guys. I was a fitness coach. Sports psychology has played a big part in my growth. And what you're doing to help the world is so needed. There's an avalanche out there falling on us of unfit, overweight, obese people, and they don't know how to get fit. They don't know where to go. So you're angels in a world that is, that needs a lot of angels right now. So well done, guys.
Beautifully said. Guys, I really appreciate all of you, your engagement, just your involvement, your support. It's great to see many of our clients here and many new people as well. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Friday, a great weekend, and can't wait to see some of those 2022 plans. Take care, guys.